There's no word on the cause of a deadly house explosion in Indianapolis that claimed the lives of at least 2 people. Plus, David Gill sends out a thank you letter to supporters after finally conceding to Rodney Davis in the 13th congressional race. And the latest on the scandal involving retired General David Petraeus. ABC News Channel 15 Midday starts now. Good morning and thanks for choosing ABC News Channel 15 Midday. I'm Liz Lohuis, filling in for Kate Springer. 2 people are dead and dozens are without a home as investigators continue to seek the cause of an explosion that leveled at least 2 houses in an Indianapolis neighborhood and damaged as many as 30 beyond repair. That is this morning's top story. Indianapolis fire officials say they don't know yet what caused the blast around 11 p.m. Saturday. Citizens Energy says crews haven't found any signs of a gas leak. Officials have not released the identities of the 2 people who were killed. However, a candlelight vigil was held Sunday night at Southwest Elementary School in nearby Greenwood for 2nd grade teacher Jennifer Longworth. She and her husband John Dion Longworth lived in one of the homes destroyed in the blast. An Ashcombe man is in custody in connection with the murder of a gas station employee in Gilman. The Iroquois County Sheriff reports authorities arrested 33-year-old Andrew Condon after items seized from his home match forensic data from the State Police Crime Lab. On October 27th, Jonathan Rubin was found unresponsive at a Shell gas station where he worked. He was pronounced dead at the scene from gunshot wounds. Condon is being held at the Iroquois County Jail on a $1 million bond. The investigation into the shooting is still ongoing. Veterans Day ceremonies will be going on throughout the day in Champaign, Urbana, but many who have given their service say the best way to honor them is to give them a job. The 2012 Veteran Job Fair made a stop in Urbana Friday. Take a look.
I was looking around to see if possibly there was something out there that I might be interested in.
It's a lot easier than flipping through the classifieds or driving from company to drop off a resume. The Veteran Job Fair is a one-stop shop for our hometown heroes looking for work.
These job fairs really give them an opportunity to jumpstart their employment after service.
The state commander of the American Legion, Wayne Washer, says he's encouraged by the number of employers interested in hiring veterans.
And being able to recruit veterans to put them back to work is really important to the credit union.
While in service, many veterans gain experience in manufacturing, truck driving, security, and construction, so more often than not, training isn't necessary.
So the employer saves money on training and gets a good employee that's dependable and hardworking.
The statewide effort is about more than putting veterans back to work. It's also about giving them the tools to succeed once they're there.
If you've been overseas, there are differences, personality differences kind of make it a little bit more difficult to, adjust.
Your life's in danger every day to come back to here and try and look for a job. It's a big change.
Earlier this year, Governor Pat Quinn increased the state income tax credit to $5,000 for each qualified veteran who is hired. The Champaign Rotary West Club has celebrated another successful Veterans Day. Last night, they held their 2nd annual Veterans One-on-One. People in the club were able to invite veterans to a dinner and enjoy a meal while sharing stories of past experiences. Well, there wasn't a traditional gun salute or wreath laying. Organizers say this event was as meaningful a Veterans Day ceremony as you can find.
This is a very intimate affair where you're developing a rapport and a relationship with a veteran one-on-one, and so you have an opportunity over dinner to have some good conversation, build some camaraderie, and it gets a little emotional when you start to bring out some of the history and some of the stories of these veterans.
The idea for the dinner came from one of the Rotary Club's members, and this was even bigger than last year's. Club members expect it to continue to grow. After refusing to admit defeat, Democrat David Gill has conceded to Republican Rodney Davis in the 13th congressional district seat. Friday evening, Gill emailed supporters saying after an exhausted county-by-county analysis of provisional and absentee ballots, it's become clear Rodney Davis has won. After many news agencies called the race in Davis's favor early Wednesday morning, Gill addressed a crowd of supporters at the I Hotel, saying he would not back down until he was absolutely sure every ballot was counted. In Friday's email, he wrote, quote, "I greatly appreciate the extraordinary support I've received from thousands of people like you throughout this long campaign and the strong encouragement encouragement that so many of you gave me to make sure every vote was counted. It has truly been an inspiration to me and my family. The race was close. Less than 0.5 percentage point separated the two candidates. Davis won the race by 1,287 votes. Katie?
Well, Liz, we're going to switch gears and give folks a check of that forecast this morning. Clouds have cleared. Rain has come to an end. That changeover, which some of us saw this morning, a few flurries flying around here, now pushing well off to the east out of the area. Sunshine is what we're left with. And it looks like that is something that will stick around for most of the week. Something else that we're left with is some much colder air after spending most of the weekend in the 70s. This is what we get today. 34 is where we're at here in Champaign. A huge air mass shift for us. And this is something that will keep around for the next several days. Not going to see much warming and really not much change in the weather pattern either. It looks like we'll keep sunshine and these below average temperatures around. We're at 35 this morning in Decatur, 31 in Bloomington. We are seeing those winds out of the west and they're gusting in here pretty quickly, sustained at 20 miles per hour here in Champaign. As a result, despite the fact that we are in the 30s, it is going to feel more like we are in the teens or 20s this morning. So that's something to keep in mind if you do have plans to head out and haven't quite made it out the door. Jackets are a necessity. And coming up, I'll let you know if we have a warm up in store and if there are more rain chances, but that's here in just a few.
Thanks, Katie. If you're in the market for a new used car, you might want to buy it sooner rather than later. ABC News Channel 15's Kimberly Howard found out prices of used cars could be going up nationwide.
Superstorm Sandy ravaged the East Coast, taking with it homes, businesses, and according to the National Automobile Dealers Association, 250,000 used cars.
They have a lot of other dealers that are shipping them new inventory just to keep their stores in business. That's how bad it was.
1,000 miles away, Thomas Lee is looking for a used car. He has his eye on this Hyundai Sonata.
We traded in two and got one, so.
He says at a good price, one that could blow past as fast as a hurricane.
I'm surprised they haven't gone up nationwide, really.
Green Hyundai partner Mike Quimby says just give it 30 to 90 days.
All those dealers have to buy and replenish their inventory. The price of used cars will go up between 7 and 10%.
Quimby says he'll do his best to keep his prices stagnant. And as for all these vehicles in his lot, they're staying put too, at least when it comes to where they're sold.
We have enough trouble keeping inventory in stock ourselves. There was already a used car shortage beforehand, and this is just going to add to it.
Lee is well aware, which is why he's glad he's got the keys and one less thing to worry about.
Whether the price is going to go up in a month, we don't know, but this way, ours is taken care of.
In Springfield, Kimberly Howard, ABC News Channel 15.
Now, the reason the effect of this won't be felt for some time is people are still waiting for insurance settlements to come in. Economists say while a boost in price isn't what consumers want to hear, a boost in car sales would be good for the economy. The Danville Festival of Trees is up and running for another year. Check out this winter wonderland inside Danville's Palmer Arena. Thousands of lights and more than 100 professionally decorated Christmas trees cover the arena floor. This year's centerpiece work is a 22-foot tall tree made of stuffed animals. Festival coordinators say it's an experience the whole family can enjoy.
I think we really try and go for all of the senses. We give something for everybody to enjoy. It's a beautiful visual, enjoying the season. We're kind of playing on the emotion that comes around at holiday time, and we really try and live up to the theme of share the joy.
Live music is also a big part of the festival. Bands will play throughout the week. The festival runs through next Thursday night. Coming up, retired General David Petraeus is devastated and his wife of 38 years is furious after news of his affair with a biographer gets out. We'll have details a little later.
But first, we'll have a check of that forecast. Blue skies have made their way into East Central Illinois. I'll let you know how long they stick around and what that temperature trend looks like this week. Welcome back to Midday, everyone. Drying things out at this point. A beautiful day looks to be in store for us the rest of this Monday. Things did start off A little soggy though. We did have some rain, some reports of sleet and light snowfall as well. The good news is none of that accumulated, and we didn't have too many headaches on the roadways this morning despite that fact. But we are dry at this point. Nothing else going to be going on for us today. We might get a little buildup of some cloud cover later on, but at this point, we are under sunny skies. It looks beautiful out there. Only wish those temperatures were a little warmer. Since we did have that cold front slide through during the overnight last night, not only did it bring us quite a bit of rainfall, but it brought us some much colder air after spending the weekend in the 70s. We are going to struggle to make it to 40 by this afternoon. So clearly a huge shift in air masses. As far as that rain is concerned, most places picked up between around 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. A few isolated spots picking up around an inch or just a little more. But we've got a pretty quiet weather pattern in store as we head through the rest of this week. No significant weather systems in the forecast, and also that huge temperature swing, which we are starting to feel for today, and it's something that we'll keep around for the next couple of days. Temperatures stay below average. At this point, though, we're at 34 degrees here in Champaign, 41 down into St. Louis. Moline sitting at the freezing point, and Indianapolis has now seen that drop. They were starting off in the 50s this morning. They've dropped about 20 degrees since early this morning. We already saw our temperature drop. We went from the 70s yesterday down to just 32 this morning. So those freezing temperatures are something we expect to see over the next several days. Not to mention, to add even more chill to the air, we've got a pretty strong westerly wind. Those wind gusts are going to blow in here to around 25 to 30 miles per hour, but they are sustained in the teens to near 20 miles per hour here in Champaign, down into Paris as well. 17 miles per hour for Danville, and 18 mile per hour wind up into Bloomington, 21 back into Springfield. This is what it's going to make the air feel like, despite the fact that we have climbed well into the 30s at this point. 23 is what it feels like here in Champaign, 26 for Decatur. Feels like just 30 back into Springfield. They've hit the 40-degree mark, so clearly lots of added chill to the air thanks to those winds. And the winds are actually something that are going to stick around through the day today. That front is departing the area, but with high pressure relatively close to it, that allows for that wind to kind of get sucked through here pretty quickly, and that's why we're seeing those gusty conditions. But it's going to be that cool westerly breeze that keeps things below average the next couple of days. Eventually, the wind will become more northwesterly, and that will keep that cooler air mass in here as well. But with high pressure in place, we will have sunshine through most of this week. Again, no significant weather systems expected for us as we head through the next several days. So for today, 40 degrees at high temperature, and again, we're going to struggle to make it there. Mostly sunny skies, colder and breezy, gusts up to around 30 miles per hour. But winds should start to calm down during the overnight tonight. And we are cold tonight, 22 under mostly clear skies. And here's a peek at that 7-day forecast. Again, Liz, not much of a change as far as the weather pattern is concerned. We stay pretty free and clear of any kind of rainfall, and temperatures are slowly going to climb back to near average as we approach the weekend.
I sure hope so. I'm not ready for that cold weather yet.
I know, especially after this past weekend.
I know. We were spoiled. Thanks,
We were.
Katie.
Yep.
Well, coming up, it's getting colder out. How does a hot meal in the crock pot sound? We'll have a great recipe for one you'll have to try.
News Channel 15 with Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Welcome back, everyone. Joining us in the kitchen this morning is Maribel Alchin, our Meyer Healthy Living Advisor. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. And I see a crock pot here. I'm a huge fan of crock pot soups and meats, anything that you can put in a crock pot, because it's so easy and you've got all this stuff here. I assume that's what we're doing today.
Yes, putting a dinner meal on the table sometimes is really challenging, especially after a long day.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you don't feel like coming home and making a meal. And the crock pot really makes it easy because you can toss all the ingredients in the morning before you leave to work. And then when you come home, you have a nice warm dinner.
Ready for you to go. All right, so we've got all of this stuff here ready to make our meal. What exactly are we making here today?
We're making a pot roast, but a Mexican style kind of pot roast.
Ooh, that may include some chilies and some spicy stuff?
Yes, we're going to spice it up, add some heat, add a lot of flavor to your traditional pot roast.
All right, so let's get started.
So some of the key things when using your slow cooker, you want to make sure you put the root vegetables in the bottom of the slow cooker.
Okay.
So here we're going to add these yellow Idaho potatoes.
Okay.
And I like using these because they have a nice creamy texture to them. But really, you can use any potatoes you want, a russet or a Klondike. So then we're going to add the baby carrots. I'm all about saving time. I didn't have to cut these or peel these. I just bought the bag of the baby cut carrots, so really makes it easy and saves time. And then this is chayote, which is a Mexican style or type of squash.
Interesting.
And so it has a very mild flavor. If it resembles more like a water chestnut in terms of the flavor.
I would definitely like this.
It's really adding a lot of color in here. You got the orange from the carrots, the green from the chayote.
And they always say the more color the better.
Yes, because you're getting the most nutrients this way by having a nice variety of different vegetables. And then before we add the rest of the ingredients, one of the other key things when cooking a roast is, here I have a certified Angus beef chuck roast. You want to make sure that you brown your meat because that's really going to seal in the juices. It's going to give it more of a robust flavor because it's going to caramelize the natural sugars in the meat. So what I did is I just seasoned it with pepper and salt, and then I browned it on each side 3 to 5 minutes in olive oil. But you want to make sure that the oil is really hot so that this way it browns nicely. So you want to brown both sides.
Almost like popping and cracking when you put it in.
Yes. So then we're going to add the roast. This is a 2-pound roast. Okay, so we're going to add that in here. And then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. We have tomatoes here, so that's about 4 tomatoes here that have been chopped up. And then you're going to add the garlic.
Which is very strong here.
Yeah, it's actually 6 cloves of garlic. And then we have jalapeno peppers.
Ooh, now this is something that I'm not a huge fan of, so.
Yeah, so depending on whether or not you like for it to be really hot or not, you can leave the seeds if you want it hot, but if you don't want it too hot, then you leave the seeds in. And then you want to add a low sodium chicken broth.
You want to add the whole thing?
6 cups, yes.
All right.
We want to make sure that the roast is covered so it stays nice and moist and it doesn't dry out. So you want to fill it on, you don't want to overfill it. You want to make sure it's at least either halfway full or 3/4 full. So you want to make sure that it's covered. If you don't have enough here, you can always add water or just more chicken broth to cover it completely. And then you want to cook this on low for 7 hours.
Ooh,
And your meat should be nice and tender. And this is what we have right here.
This is the final product.
Yes, and you can add some chopped cilantro and then some lime juice and then serve it with some corn tortillas. Now, if you're looking for a little more heat, you can do chipotle peppers in the can, which I have over there.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
So you could do that. Or also, if you want to use other root vegetables, you can do parsnips or rutabaga. So really, you can get creative and make it your own.
Well, it seems pretty simple. Easy recipe. If you'd like to check this out, head on over to our website, WICD15.com/recipes. Thanks, Maribel.
Thank you.
Coming up, the latest on former CIA Director David Petraeus' alleged affair with a biographer.
On ABC News Channel 15 with Kate Springer and meteorologist Katie Kramer.
We're learning more this morning about former CIA Director David Petraeus' affair. A former spokesperson for Petraeus says his affair with female biographer Paula Broadwell started after Petraeus left the Army. Broadwell and Petraeus met in Afghanistan during one of Broadwell's trips to interview him. She lives in North Carolina with her husband and 2 kids. Petraeus, who has resigned as CIA Director, acknowledged the affair in a letter to agency employees, saying he's devastated over the matter. The White House was not made aware of the situation until last week.
Add up that the FBI would be carrying on this type of investigation without, again, bringing it to the, to the president or the highest levels of the White House.
Petraeus' former spokesman says Petraeus' wife of 38 years is furious over the matter, and it will take a long time to set things straight at home. Stick around. Katie will be in with a final check of your forecast.
Well, folks, it's going to be a pretty cool afternoon. Temperature's going to struggle to make it to 40 degrees. We are done with the rain chances. The clouds have cleared. And as a result, we'll see sunshine through the rest of the day today and actually through the next several days, as we aren't tracking any real significant weather patterns or weather systems, I should say, for us. And we keep temperatures below average the next several days. slowly making it back to 50 by the weekend.
Wear that coat the next couple days.
Good advice.
Have a great morning, everyone.